knowing how much this means to them, it means the world.
Coming up on News Live at 6, how Autothon raises funds to help local children's hospitals and the community it creates.
Plus, Hancock Airport is taking safety into its own hands. We'll tell you what to expect from the new airport police force.
And one man is trying his hand at hockey. Jesse Cook reports on how one athlete is overcoming a unique challenge.
TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
SU students raised money for a children's hospital this weekend. Good evening and welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Jake Morel.
And I'm Peyton Spellacy. Syracuse students have participated in Autothon since 2014.
Yesterday, students were encouraged to put on their dancing shoes. Autothon is a yearly event that SU hosts to raise funds for Golisano Children's Hospital. Citrus TV reporter Cora Maricosta has more. Cora?
Good evening, Jake and Peyton. Autothon participants danced all day long from 10 in the morning until 10 at night for a good cause. Take a look at how Autothon surpassed their monetary goal. Autothon is Syracuse University's largest student-run philanthropy. The event is a 12-hour dance marathon that raises money for upstate Golisano Children's Hospital. All funds go towards the hospital, their miracle kits, and family. Additional funds will go towards their psychiatric nurse fellowship, psychiatric program, and unmet family needs. The theme this year was to party for a purpose. Each hour held a different theme and fundraising challenge. Even if you...
I don't know how to dance really.
Autothon still has various alternative options for those who are shy dancers. Autothon's internal events director, Lewis Smith, tells me they have been planning for this day since the last Autothon ended.
A lot of time and a lot of money does go to this. Luckily, we have great partnerships with a lot of surrounding organizations and restaurants who donate all of the food that is provided here. And so we are very thankful for the community that we're in, who kind of rallies around the same cause. And the time, when you're having fun, it's not really all too bad of a time.
SU organizations and clubs all come together to support this one cause each year. Freshman Heidi Knoll echoes the sentiment of all student attendees.
I just want to inspire them and be a good role model and just show that they have Syracuse athletic support.
This year, Autothon raised $103,849.97, surpassing their goal. However, the bonds created between the kids and SU students don't have a price tag attached.
Knowing how much this means to them, it means the world.
Each year, Autothon provides an abundance of emotional and financial support for the children and families receiving care at upstate Golisano Children's Hospital. Reporting in studio, I'm Cora Maricosta.
Cora, thank you. And spring break is just around the corner, but even then, SU students can find time to brush up on their homework. Both Byrd and Carnegie Libraries released modified spring break hours for March 11th to March 18th. Byrd will be open from 10 to 6 on Saturday, noon to 8 on Sunday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. from Monday through Friday, and 8 to 6 on Thursday, and 8 to 6 on Friday. Carnegie will be closed on the 11th and the 12th, but will be open from 8 to 5 on Monday through Friday. Modified hours for the Architecture, Law, and Martin Luther King Jr. libraries are available online at news.syr.edu.
And today, Turtle Clan mother Frida Jacques, a leader of the Onondaga Nation, will be giving a tour of the Skano Center. Frida has served as the Turtle Clan leader and as a Haudenosaunee cultural liaison for over 40 years within the educational institutions across New York State. The tour and speech will begin at 6:15 tonight and go until 8:45.
And University Union hosted its first ever college comedy stand-up night this past weekend. Here to tell us more is Citrus TV's Maura Vaughn.
Thanks, Peyton. College Chuckle Stand-Up Comedy Night, organized by the University Union, occurred this past Saturday, highlighting Syracuse student comedians. And we had the chance to attend this event and speak to comedians about the preparation involved in creating their stand-ups, as well as the work involved in creating and performing a comedy show for the Syracuse community.
I want to thank you all so much for coming out tonight to College Chuckle.
University Union is proud to host their first ever annual comedy stand-up night, giving Syracuse students a break to laugh and comedians the chance to practice their bits for the audience.
He asked me if I knew how to play poker, apply, right? I was saying to myself, like, okay, I'm gonna need a guy who's smart, ambitious, and mature. Smart, ambitious, and mature. Somebody slid in my DMs the next day. My professor. Yeah.
Go home and say you're doing your body just to jiggle a little bit. A good time.
Each comedian worked extremely hard to prepare a 5-minute monologue, engaging and relating to the audience. Sam Chappelle, the host of the night's event, kept the laughter going.
Exciting. It's exciting too because it's the first one that UU has done of like the student comedy. So it's exciting to be the host of that and be like, oh, the first show with Sam Chappelle being the host. And we have tons of great comedians tonight. So, no, I've seen all these people perform and they've all killed 100%. So hopefully they have some new material for me tonight and hopefully they can make everybody laugh. I know they're all super funny and they're all gonna kill it.
It was difficult to catch a moment when the audience wasn't dying of laughter, but although the comedians seemed to be pros, some said that this was one of the largest audiences and venues they'd ever performed in.
So it was fun to like do it in a new kind of venue.
Yeah, I've only done it in little gross basements, and now we're in a little higher class basement, which is exciting.
So I just try and just get through it and hype myself up beforehand, and just not take myself too seriously because we're learning.
Maura Vaughn, CitrusTV News.
Thank you, Maura. And switching to weather now, you know, Peyton, I left my dorm without a jacket today. I had to put one on. It was kind of a confusing day.
It was. You know, I'm from California, so I thought it was a little bit chillier, so I did go for my jacket, but I did wonder if I should leave my jacket at home throughout the day. So here to tell us more if I'll need my jacket tomorrow is our weather anchor, Peter Elliott.
Hey, Jake and Peyton, there's plenty of parking available here on Waverly Avenue, but what there isn't plenty of is snow. As we saw temperatures warm up into the 40s today, evaporating all that snow that we saw dumped down here in the 315 late Friday evening and early Saturday morning. And that's going to be the theme of this week. Not a lot of precipitation, but as the snow is evaporated, we're not going to be seeing any more warmer temperatures. We're in for a little bit of a cool down, and that's what we're seeing tonight. As temperatures have dipped down from the 40s into the mid to lower 30s, with feels like temperature more in the 20s, and that's what we're going to see later tonight, especially dip down into the 20s, and could see temperatures much lower into the lower 20s. That's what we're also going to be seeing later on this week as a cold front will move its way across the northeast, and we're going to see temperatures down into the 20s and potentially low temperatures into the high teens. So brace yourselves, bundle up this week. We're going to get a little bit cooler as we see that cold front move in. But not a lot of precipitation. We could see a little snow tomorrow evening, but that's going to be really it for any major snowfall events. We're not going to be seeing anything like we saw on Friday or Saturday. It's going to look a lot like this here in central New York. A lot of barren grass, not a lot of snow blanketing the 315. For now, I'll send it back to you, Peyton and Jake Morel.
I'm glad to hear that there's going to be no more snow. Peter, thank you. The new Micron chip plants are expected to be quite large, according to the Micron renderings. The plants in Clay are going to be as tall as the JMA Wireless Dome. The new facilities will include office complexes and on-site water treatment plants. Micron officials are planning a similar facility in Boise, Idaho.
And the fight over the future of I-81 has hit another speed bump. According to the state Supreme Court filings, the New York State Department of Transportation is appealing a court ruling on the I-81 viaduct project.
This ruling aims to dismantle a long-standing viaduct. Supporters of the bill want to add more affordable housing in its place and create a community grid.
Members of the Syracuse community continue to raise awareness for a rare disease. Destiny USA hosted its 25th annual Mission Steps Walk for Multiple Sclerosis Sunday as MS Awareness Month begins. The event took place entirely indoors, and participants walked anywhere from 3 to 5 miles in the Destiny Canyon. All of the money raised from the event will support people living with MS in upstate New York.
And in a press conference today, John Hancock International Airport announced it's upping its security measures. After years of planning, the Syracuse Regional Airport Authority will create a new airport police force. Police have patrolled the airport since 2012, but now the SRAA controls all policing efforts. Officers in the new police force will hold all the same qualifications as Syracuse PD officers.
And a Syracuse resident is without an apartment after a fire this weekend. According to Syracuse Deputy Fire Chief Nick Pagano, the fire started in the apartment's kitchen before spreading elsewhere in the unit. Firefighters had to drill a hole in the ceiling just to extinguish the fire, but no other apartments in the building are damaged.
And in a press release today from Onondaga County Sheriff's Office announced a suicide in Onondaga County Jail. On Saturday morning at 11 a.m., an incarcerated man was found unconscious in his jail cell by a deputy. Life-saving measures were taken but were unsuccessful. The case has been turned over to the New York State Attorney General's office.
A former Syracuse student faces lifelong consequences for his actions. Convicted rapist Jacob Cohen will spend the rest of his life on the sex offender registry. This decision comes after his failed claim that a hypermanic episode prompted him to rape one student and sexually assault another. Cohen will spend 6 months behind bars and 10 years on probation. Any student impacted by sexual assault or relationship violence can receive 24-hour support by calling the Barnes Center and the number on your screen.
And coming up on News Live at 6, relief is on its way for many New Yorkers. We'll tell you about Governor Hochul's plans for combating addiction.
And some people in Atlanta aren't happy about a new police facility. See how they reacted to it after the break.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced her $3.2 million plan to expand outreach and engagement services as part of the Opioid Settlement Fund. The grants are aimed to expand harm reduction and other health care services to New Yorkers who are unable to access care.
In her announcement this weekend, Hochul said, quote, "My administration remains committed to using every tool at our disposal to help struggling individuals receive the supportive services they need. By investing in innovative outpatient treatment programs and services in underserved locations, we are ensuring that we deliver equitable access to life-saving treatment for those that need it most."
A woman is dead and 9 other people are injured after an incident at a concert in Rochester over the weekend. According to Police Chief David Smith, Grammy-nominated rapper Glorilla's performance drew an intense crowd.
Mayor Malik Evans says, quote, "We are going to hold people accountable for what happened last night. This statement and tragedy comes as part of an increase in deadly crowd surges."
And 35 people are in custody following protests over a new police training center in Atlanta. The protesters broke into the construction site and threw bricks, burned vehicles, and shot fireworks.
At least 19 demonstrators have been charged with domestic terrorism. Tensions have risen over the new site for environmental concerns, as well as concerns over expansion of the police.
Still ahead on News Live at 6, we're seeing a little bit of a cool down, but what will you need to do to prepare for these chillier temperatures? All of your answers coming up in my full 5-day forecast, still ahead on News Live at 6.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Hey, welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Peter Elliott. Let's take a look at the next 5 days of weather here in the 315. A lot of 30s. We see a cold front going to move in through the Empire State and dip those temperatures down into the lower 30s, right around the freezing point, right around 30, 31 through the first 3 days. And then later on a Friday, Saturday, a warm front will move in. We're going to get up back into the 40s, much like we saw today when we saw that sun kind of move through. A chance of basketball on Wednesday as the men's team heads to the ACC tournament in New York City, but a little bit of snow projected on Friday and some rain on Saturday. Here's your beach forecast. I wouldn't advise it this time of year here in Central New York, but we've got spring break coming up, so if you're going to a warm tropical place, hey, get those swimsuits on and go dip in the water. Not Onondaga Lake, though. I would not advise it this time of year here in March. And one final note here, we are seeing the sunset at 6. It's not just News Live at 6, it's the sunset live at 6 as we are seeing more sun this time of year, which is always welcome. And the clock will spring forward an hour on March 12th. That'll just be a nice, just great way to end the day, as we're going to see more sun later on in the evening. And by the end of the month, March 31st, the sun will be setting at 7:30. That's pretty great news. Back to you, Jake and Peyton.
So excited to see more of that sun. Peter, thank you. In Utica, there's a hockey player single-handedly breaking down barriers. Reporter Jesse Cook details the remarkable success story.
Ice hockey is a hands-on sport. Whether you're tying your skates, gripping your stick, or just having fun with your buddies, the intoxicating atmosphere is just about everywhere. Utica Junior Comets forward Ben Stewart grew up in this type of environment, but the 19-year-old has faced some unusual struggles on the way to semi-pro.
I have to do more with my bottom hand since I don't have the top hand. I don't have the reach or the mobility that other people do.
Ben doesn't stick handle with his top hand because he only has one hand. Ben's right arm stops around his elbow.
Usually they're a little wary at first, and kind of after after we play, they're like, all right, then he's just like everybody else here. There's no difference between him and I. So.
For many of us, it's impossible to imagine playing one of the world's most physically demanding sports without the use of your right hand. But Ben's never thought about it that way, and why should he? He's always been one of his team's best goal scorers. The Dayton native said it's about how hard you work, not how you're born.
Starting out when I was younger, obviously I didn't have as much strength as everybody else. So I had to start working out more, bigger, faster, stronger, and that's kind of helped me in the long run.
The Junior Comets regular season ended on Wednesday, and Ben tallied goals in 3 of the last 5 games. Dating back to high school, he scored a pair of markers in the Ohio State Championship game on the way to winning the title. The scorer says he hopes he can pass on his success, skills, and mentality to more generations of hockey players.
I wouldn't say really any direct inspiration, rather than trying to be the inspirator for the younger kids that are following up in what I do.
Just like how a puck can be the story of a game and a sheet of ice can be the venue for dreams, to Ben, what for others would be a disadvantage is anything but. In Utica, Jesse Cook, Citrus TV.
Jesse Cook, thank you. Ben and the Junior Comets won the first round of the Premier League playoffs over the weekend. They now await details of where, when, and against whom their next game will be played. And speaking of sports, Ashley Wenskoski's in studio. Ashley, what do you got for us today?
Jake, thank you. It was a men's and women's lacrosse doubleheader in the Dome yesterday. Plus, Syracuse men's basketball heads down to Greensboro for the ACC tournament. All that and more when we come back.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Syracuse women's lacrosse has cemented their spot as not only the best team on the Hill, but the second best in the nation. Welcome into sports. I'm Ashley Wenskoski. Kayla Trainer's squad remained undefeated yesterday afternoon, taking care of Virginia Tech with ease. Though the Orange only led by 1 at the end of the first quarter, once Megan Tyrell and the offense got going, they just never stopped. Tyrell would finish with 5 goals and 2 points and is ranked first in the nation in points and assists. Her sister Emma Tyrell also finished with 3 goals, but it was really the defensive performance that was most impressive from the Orange. Goalkeeper Delaney Schweitzer recorded career highs in 3 separate categories, with 15 saves, 6 ground balls, and 2 caused turnovers. Listen in to head coach Kayla Trainer describe her goalie's career day.
She was just outstanding, and I think what is so cool is that, when her team isn't playing great, she stepped up and had their back and just played outstanding. So, I don't know if it gets better than that. So we're really proud of her. I mean, she was the difference maker today. I think that's a much closer game if if, Delaney doesn't have the game she did.
It was the third straight game that Schweitzer and the SU defense held their opponent to 5 goals or less. Final score from the Dome, 16-5 SU. Number 2 Syracuse will face a much larger test when they welcome number 13 Notre Dame to the Dome this weekend. And as for the men later in the day, things didn't go quite as smoothly. The Orange dropped a heartbreaker in overtime to number 5 Duke. Though Syracuse was ahead 8-6 at the half, it was back and forth all game long between the Orange and the Blue Devils. Syracuse would fall behind in the fourth quarter, but tied the game with 2 minutes left to play after back-to-back goals from Cole Kirst and Finn Thompson. Speaking of Kirst, the grad student had a breakout game on offense, scoring 4 times on 6 shots and adding an assist. A Charles Balsamo goal for the Blue Devils would hand the Orange the loss in overtime, despite the best efforts of goalie Will Mark. He saved 22 shots, the most in a single ACC game this season. The Orange fall to 3-3 and out of the national ranks to open the week. They'll look to regroup against number 15 Johns Hopkins on Saturday. And though we've turned our attention to lacrosse, the men's basketball season isn't over just yet. Syracuse won their final game of the regular season in the Dome on Saturday. They took care of Wake Forest by a score of 72-63. Jesse Edwards had a historic performance on his senior night with 27 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 steals. It was an emotional night in the Dome as Edwards, Joe Girard, Samir Torrance, and Jean Bolajac were honored in a pregame senior ceremony. Post-game, members of the 2003 National Championship were also honored to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the win. The Dome welcomed back Carmelo Anthony and the rest of the 03 roster. But it was a particularly special night for Jerry McNamara and Hakeem Warwick, who had their jersey numbers retired and raised into the rafters. As for the current team, they'll compete in the first round of the ACC tournament Wednesday at noon in Greensboro against none other than the Demon Deacons. It'll be a rematch of Saturday night's win for SU in the 8-9 seed game. If the Orange win, they'll go on to face the 1 seed Miami on Thursday.
Ashley, thank you. And when we come back, Peter Elliott will have one last look at your wake-up weather.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker. New from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Thanks for sticking with us on News Live at 6. When you wake up tomorrow, going to be in the mid-20s, and it won't warm up much from there. Only about 2 to 3 degrees, getting into the high 20s, low 30s. And with the wind chill, that really feels like the lower 20s. Bundle up tomorrow. It'll be a cold one here in Syracuse. Jake and Peyton, back to you.
Peter, good to see you, man. Some hippopotamuses, from Colombia may have a new home soon. The Colombian government is looking to deport 70 hippos to India or Mexico.
The hippos came from the same family as Pablo Escobar's hippos. He legally imported them from Africa in the 80s. The Colombian government says the hippos are territorial and moving beyond the old Escobar ranch now. The hippos also present ecological problems because they lack any predators, and their feces also changes the composition of the water.
You know, Peyton, honestly, Pablo Escobar hippos, I don't think it gets more interesting than that. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't have anything to offer.
I'm just glad they're going back to where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for you today on Citrus TV News.
For more of the latest, follow us on Citrus TV News on Twitter, or you can check out our website at citrustv.com.
For all of us on Citrus TV News, I'm Jake Morel.
And I'm Peyton Spellacy. Have a great night, Syracuse.